Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about why you need to stop doing what everyone else is doing. In life, there is a predisposition we have to fall in line with certain groups, with what we see other people doing, because if you do something different, then you might be an outcast. And they've actually done studies, all kinds of studies on this. For an example, they had a study where they had two lines and one person was the subject, and they were to look at these two lines, which are different sizes, and tell the person asking them a question, are these two lines the same length? Well, part of the study was that the participant didn't know was they were going to bring actors in who were also acting as if they were being part of the study. And so those actors would say, yes, those lines are the same length, even though they're obviously not. But what happened is, as the number of actors got involved, and so there's more than just a couple people, because if it's a couple people, the participant could say, well, those lines aren't the same. These people are just wrong. But when it got up to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people, all saying these lines are the same length, that participant, even though they knew those lines were not the same length, told the questioner, yes, those are the same length, because they didn't want to be out of step with everyone else. Now, I don't know if they were doing it purposely to be dishonest, or if it's just some subconscious thing thinking, well, I must be wrong because everybody else is doing this, so they must be right. But that's what happens in life. Too often you just fall in line with the wrong thing, something that you know that your intuition, that your God-given wisdom knows is wrong, but you still do it because it's falling in line with everyone else. You need to be different. If that makes you ostracized from the group, do you want to be like everyone else? The mediocrity, the failure, the misery everybody else is experiencing in life? Or do you want to be someone spectacular, someone that's great? Because one of the things about being great is, as Jesus talked about, being the servant of others. This is something that people don't understand. In success and wealth, they think, well, that means you're going to have people serving you and all this stuff. When you get great success and great wealth, you use it to serve others. It's not this building yourself up so people can worship you. You don't want to do that at all. You want to use your wealth and success and ability to better serve other people. In Proverbs 14:12 says this, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. I know there are plenty of things. You'll have your parents, you'll have family, you'll have friends telling you to go a certain direction. Go down this way. This way is right. This is what, look, your brother did this. Look, your sister did this. Look, your friend did this. This is the way to go. But the end thereof is the ways of death. There are too many people falling in line, like that participant in the study. They know something's wrong, but they think, well, but everybody else is doing it, so I must be wrong. Don't second guess yourself on that. If you know something is not right for you, and I'm not talking about wrong necessarily even on a moral level, because these people are just doing what they're doing, and that's what their lives are going to be. But you are made for more. You wouldn't be watching a video like this if you weren't made to become more, to be greater, to be a success. Because the unsuccessful, the losers, the failures in life, they aren't looking at videos like this. They're watching sports, they're watching entertainment, they're listening to music, they're doing all these other things to distract themselves from the misery they've created in their lives, because they've chosen to follow everyone else's path, which is the way that leads to death. So my encouragement to you is very important. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down, physically write down, don't write this down on a tablet or something or type it out, physically write down the things you do each day. And then ask yourself, are these things that I should be doing? Are these things that are leading me to my goals? Or are these things I'm just doing mindlessly because everyone else is doing them? And really get down and narrow down even to what you eat, to what you think, to how you interact in the day, to your relaxation time, to when you go to bed, to when you wake up. Write all this stuff down. And then really examine it and see, have you fallen in line with everybody else? Now, there are certain things that are basic and universal. You got to breathe, you got to eat, you have to sleep. Okay. but maybe you've adopted some principles that aren't really working best for you. I know people that tell me they need 8 or 9 hours of sleep, and they've never even tried 7.5 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep. They just told themselves for decades that they need that amount of sleep, and maybe they do, but they've never even experimented with less sleep. And I'm not talking about depriving yourself of sleep, but I've seen so many people that are wasting their lives away sleeping and relaxing instead of getting stuff done for the glory of God. So my friend, today I want to encourage you. Do that. Write down what you do. Examine it. Really examine and use the light, the wisdom of God in your life to see, is this something that I came up with? Is this something that is the best for me in my situation, or am I falling in line with everyone else? Am I following everyone else? I'm doing this because everyone else does it, and that seems to make sense. Because I'm going to tell you, many times that doesn't make sense. At least not if you're trying to be successful. Yes, doing what everyone else is doing makes perfect sense when you're trying to be like everyone else. But I'll tell you, I look around and see what everyone else is doing and see how they're enjoying their lives and how they're experiencing God, and they're not enjoying their lives. They're not experiencing God. And I don't want that. That's the last thing I want to follow, is what these people are doing, because what they are doing got them the results they have. And I don't want those results. And you don't either. And they probably don't, at least on a conscious level. They'll say, I would like to be successful. I would like to have wealth. I would like to do this charitable thing, and I would like to do that. But the truth is, they don't really care about any of that, because they don't do the things that would get them to that point. They never will make the changes. They refuse. They're obstinate in their refusal to change, because change is uncomfortable, and change can make people question you. It can make people criticize you. It can make people even not want to be around you. Because here's what happens when you start changing for the better and become a better person each and every day. And I'm not talking about you lambasting other people or bragging about yourself or anything like that that would naturally push people away from you. I'm talking about you just are becoming a better person. Well, that reflects a mirror on those people, because they see your goodness and the improvement you're making each and every day. And then the mirror of life comes out, and they see their lives, that they're not improving, probably getting worse each day. And so your betterment actually causes them to see how they're not improving. They then feel condemned of their own hearts, because their own hearts are condemning them, testifying against them. And so they attribute that to you. They don't want to be around you because you make them feel uncomfortable about themselves, about their mediocrity, about their choosing to fall in line with everyone else. But here's what's important. Maybe some people will not want to be around you anymore, but that's for the better, because you'll attract into your life better quality of people. Now, what may happen is some of those people may see that you're improving and that life's going better for you. Your outlook's better in life, and they may want to make some changes themselves. And that's awesome. And that's where you can come in to really help them and help bring them up to a better, newer, greater level in their own lives. But for most people, the reality is they're going to back off from you. They may even shun you, but that's all right. You will bring better, greater people into your life that will also lift you up. Because here's what happens around wealthy people. They're not going around belittling people. You may find the outliers that do that, but for the most part, they're encouraging. They're not bragging on themselves. They're not trying to tear other people down so they can look better. They will encourage. They'll build you up. They'll try to make you a better person. They'll lift you up in a good way. And so often in the middle class and the poor, you don't have that kind of support, because they're almost like the proverbial crabs in the pot, where they're pulling the other one that's trying to escape out. They're in this misery, this awful environment, and they're grabbing and pulling down the one that's about to escape. And that's what you have among the poor and the middle class. They don't want you to get to this higher level. And it's not necessarily some evil intent where they know they're doing it, It's just something they do because it's part of that whole indoctrination in that mentality that doesn't lead to success. It doesn't lead to wealth. It doesn't lead to great happiness. It doesn't lead to being great. And by great, I mean becoming the servant of all, becoming someone who ministers and uses their life to glorify God and to help others. None of that stuff's going on in the poor and middle class arena. But when you start getting into great success and great wealth, you'll find people who will encourage you and build you up and want you to become successful. And when they hear about you have a need, they'll try to find someone that can help you get that need met. And it's very interesting because when I grew up, and I mention this in many of my books, but when I grew up, I was very, very poor. And to me, the rich were these movie scenarios of them. They were evil, they were calculating, they were trying to harm their employees, all these things, and then none of that was true. So my friend, today I want to encourage you. Become the better person, become the right person, do that which is right, and make sure your way is the right way and not the way it leads to death. I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.